Okay, good morning. Happy May 18th. I posted this assignment a little early, so I'm sorry that it showed up a little early, but that's okay. As you remember, we're in the seventh grade book now. So you do not have a hard copy of, you don't have a paper copy of this assignment. So it's all going to be online, but you should be able to see it. If you have any issues, just send me a message, but I'll also screenshot it so you could take a look at the work. Okay, so let's take a look. Today is May 18th, so we're going to click on today's assignment. As you notice, you're going to watch the video. You're going to do page 10 and 11 just on regular notebook paper. Take a picture, upload it, and turn in your assignment. So let's take a look and see what this assignment is on lesson 1-1. You're just going to click Take Me There Now. And we're going to wait for this to load up. Okay. And what you're going to see is you're now in the seventh grade book. So the seventh grade book looks like this, and it's topic 1. And I'm going to show you lesson 1-1. And you can see here, we're going to click on it and let's start it. Again, I'll post a screenshot of the page that you need to do so you don't have to search for it. Okay, today what we're going to do is we're going to relate integers, their opposites, and their absolute values. Sounds really complicated, but it's super easy. We've been doing it this whole time. So let's just take a look at some examples of how you would do this. So example 1 talks about how integers and their opposites, and that's really important to understand their opposites. So Alexis was shopping on the ground floor of the mall when she realized she left her phone in her car. She walks down 6 floors to her car in the underground parking garage. How far will Alexis walk to get back to the ground floor? And you're going to say, well, that's easy, Miss K, but we're going to use integers to explain. So here's the ground floor, and she has to walk down how many flights? 6. So how are you going to show that as an integer? Well, as an integer, you're going to show it as, because the ground floor is 0, and anything up is positive, anything below the ground floor is negative, she walked -6 floors. Poor Alexis. And remember, whenever we put these two signs right here, these two bars, it means the absolute value. So -6 shows us where she walks to her car. And 6 just shows us this, -6. The absolute value of that is just 6. So she just walked down 6 stairs. So -6 and 6 are opposites. When you add them together, so if I walk down -6 and then I walk up 6, I'm back at 0, right? So when you add opposites, that becomes 0. So he's just trying to say -6 plus +6 is 0. Okay, so let's take a look at another example here. So Samuel has $20 in his savings account before he makes a deposit. And if you don't know what deposit is, it just means a plus. You're adding money. And a deposit is always a plus, right? After 2 weeks, he withdraws. If you don't know what withdrawal means, it means he's taking out money. So here he's adding, or he's taking out $160. Here he's adding $160. How did Samuel's savings account change? Well, remember where Sam started. Sam started at $20, right? He started right here. So first what he did is he put in 160. So guess how much money he had? Woohoo! He had 180. But then he saw a great PlayStation, and so he bought it, and he's down to $20 because he spent 160. So the change that happened was 0. He put in 160, he took out 160. Okay, so that's what we're looking at here. One more change here. Let's talk about this. One winter morning, the temperature was -2 degrees Celsius. By 11, the temperature had decreased by 3. Decrease, what's that? A decrease by -3. And the temperature then reached 0 degrees. Which integer represents the temperature change from 11 to 4 p.m.? Okay, so what did we start with? And it's great to have number lines here so you know. You started, remember, you woke up and it was -2. And then the temperature decreased by 3 degrees. So it went to -5, right? At 4 p.m., the temperature went to 0. So we were at -5, and look at that, the temperature increased by 5. So it's at 0. So you can see how these numbers would be added. You start at -2, right? You add -3. And what do we do when we add two negative numbers? The answer is, of course, -5. But then it increased by 5 degrees. Remember, it increased by 5 degrees. So -5 plus 5, guess what that equals? You're right, 0. So that's a 0 right there. Okay, so let's kind of take a look at your homework today. And remember, you have Zoom chat on Tuesday. So this talks about, you know how I love the key concepts, right? This talks about how n, whatever number it is, and its opposite, which is -n, combine to make 0. So 4 and -4 are opposites. So they are combined to make 0. So question number 1 talks about how integers and their opposites are related. Well, you just heard about that, right? You know how opposites are related. How are opposites related? I'll give you a hint. The answer is something about 0. So I want you to take a look at number 2 and 3, and then take a look at number 4. Why don't I do number 4 really quickly for you? Marcus dives from the surface of the ocean to a reef 18 meters below sea level. I am telling you this. I promise you this. Draw this out. I always like to draw this. Okay, so here's the water. Water starts at 0. Then he dives, and I know if he's below 0, he's at -18 meters, right? What integer represent Marcus' location relative to the surface? So the integer that shows him diving is -8m, right? How far does he have to go to return? Well, we all know that. You just have to add another 18 meters, and he'll make it out okay. So that's your answer for that one. It's really not bad. It seems hard, but it's super easy. So good luck with this. Remember, there's Zoom chat on my brain's not working, on Tuesday at 10:30. All right, hope you guys are all well. I miss you guys. Happy Monday.